You guys wanted to see a special version of the Audi A4, and here it is for you, the A4 Allroad. So the front of the Audi A4 Allroad is really strong and adds more contrast with the silver line up here with the vertical fins and even matte silver lower bumper parts here. Wow, that is really an own style and why people also like this special version here. 3.4 centimeters more ground clearance, so it's also really more suitable for off-road driving. Xenon headlamps, LED, matrix LED, those three versions you have with all A4 vehicles. Those are the top ones. And then you also have the LED daytime running light. 4.73 meters or 15.5 is the total length. So it's a normal A4 estate. 17, 18, 19 inch. Those ones here are the 18 one. So I think it suits that very well, also with the winter tires. With summer tires it would even look a little bit bigger. Then the classic estate form here and those dramatic design lights here above the door handles. The only thing I'm not too happy about is the solution here for the plastic wheel arches. And in the rear here you can see the tail lights with this LED structure, very beautifully done I think. Some small all-road badge, and then the most important is here this silver plastic lower fender that is define the all-road style, and again I think it suits the vehicle very well. So 2-liter TSI with 252 horsepower is available, or the 2-liter TDI with 3 horsepower figures, 152, 190 horsepower, or here the 3-liter TDI either with 218 horsepower, or here the top spec today 272 horsepower, 5.4 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. This one here, by the way, has the all-wheel drive concept, the Quattro with 40 and 60% distribution, front and rear. So this one is a permanent all-wheel drive, the classic stuff. The petrol and the smaller diesel, even the 3-liter one with 218 horsepower, has this all-wheel drive concept that you have front-wheel drive plus or rear then on demand. Do I feel that it sits a little bit more up? 3.4 centimeters? Not really that much, maybe a little bit. So it gives you some more crossover feeling if you like that. However, seating position is really comfortable. The steering wheel can also be adjusted, wow, very far. So you won't have any problems by that. And here, as I said, the electric seat control, pretty easily done. Everything you will find a good position here, and also a lot of headroom still left. So even with 1 meter 86 or 6'1", also suitable for taller people. soft touch here on the top dashboard. This transition here is a little bit weird. Other than that, very clean design here, also with the air vents. Then this one here has this aluminum style cover. It has also metal parts, because you feel at the moment here it's a little bit warmer at the vents, at the lower part it's colder. Then you usually have a normal climate control, a manual one, but it's already featuring those checkered knobs. This one here is the optional 3-zone air conditioning here, and with the automatic controls, which have those buttons right here. That looks pretty fancy when you control them, and also when you turn from, you know, left to right, changes here in the middle. Really impressive design, and also with those nice clicking sounds. You know, this MMI knob on the lower part, you can control everything from the infotainment system right there. Here, the converter gearbox, unlike the 218 horsepower diesel, which has the S-tronic dual clutch transmission and also the smaller engines. Now to the digital gauges right here. You see left side RPM, right side speed. You can also have the analog ones, those ones here are optional. And the infotainment system in detail, no touch available, all with the central knob. And well, the most important features are for sure telephone. You can have a Bluetooth connection, or you can also have this smartphone interface. Then you go with the cable inside, have the Apple CarPlay. And here it's also working that you play music by your Apple CarPlay and still look at the GPS map at the same time. And what about the rear? I leave the seat as I would be driving, as a rather tall driver. And then I do exactly fit here. There are also gaps in the back part of the seat. However, well, with those boots on, the seat would have to be a little bit higher. I sit not too well here. The bench is also not too long. Feel a little bit cramped. Headroom wise, it's still okay. The big glove fits above it. So headroom wise, especially here in the estate version, it's not a problem. However, we've also experienced smaller cars, shorter cars that have better offering of real legroom right here. So if you're driving with tall drivers, it fits for 4 adults, but I wouldn't actually say it's, you know, the best sedan or estate, depending on what version you have, for long-term 4 people driving. Left and the right side, you can release the back seats, but here, this is really a problem. They don't flip automatically. I don't like that in the A4. What I do like, see this automatic cover that goes down and up when you use the electric tailgate, which is also from standard equipment. That's really nice. So I have to go around here now and then release the seats. Then I could have done it, I mean, from the rear anyway. So that's the result you get then. You can get them a little bit flatter if you put all the head restraints up like this. You see the difference right here in this gap. And you can also use just the middle ski hatch. Overall, still a trunk you can very well use. The question is, of course, and let me solve that directly at the beginning, what about the consumption? So not always is the big diesel consuming much more. In this case, it is about 8 liters we've tested on different altogether, 8 liters and 100 kilometers. If you just drive motorway with cruise control, you can also score 7 liters or something below. So that would be the minimum figure then. If you would close your eyes, and in this new generation of the A4, the sound insulation is also really superb. You would tell someone you're sitting in an A6 and say, yeah, probably, that should be right. And you know, as the suspension is a little bit higher, feels a little bit more crossover SUV-ish, this also somehow adds to the feeling that it would be a bigger car. So very interesting combination, especially here with the big diesel and the all-road suspension, that it really feels a little bit bigger, but only in the comfort plus. So it feels bigger in a positive way. So again, overview is really good, also better than in the sedan. You exactly know where the car is ending. Then again, we have those aiding features that are always applicable. We have the blind spot monitor, which is to me one of the most important aspects for sure. So the steering here, this is the optional one that is a little bit more progressive. That means you have to do less steering work. It's a little bit more direct, and I would generally recommend this option. It's not really a super must-have. You'll also be just fine with the base steering, but it's a nice option, and well, it is actually an option that you feel every day, every time when you drive the vehicle. The front assist, by the way, is included, so the emergency braking assist, that one is standard production. Most of the other things are optional. This lane keeping assist is also active. That means it should usually keep me in the middle of the lane. However, here, for example, it does have a problem. There was no white stripe on the left side for a couple of seconds. Then the car tends to go to the left, searching for the next white line. Here now we have two white lines. Now the car can, well, it seems to be a little bit too dirty, the white line. So you see at the moment the car is really going more to the left. I wouldn't have expected that. So it works better on the motorway. You also see how great and precise and direct the steering is. Not having any effort with that. Also when I'm doing a sudden lane change, for example. Wow. I mean, it's a normal vehicle, normal A4 basically, and still so agile. There was one rather critical incident, and I've checked it up on some forums, and it seems to be a pattern that the A4, even maybe already in the previous generation, I don't know why it's the case, but it seems to be a problem when it's really, really wet on the road. Not like this, like even more, really water on the road, and you then apply the brakes, not like the full brake, but more than gently. The car tends to draw to a certain side. In my case, it was the left side. So yesterday, for example, there was even more water on the road, and did some testing, and I really went into the brakes, not too hard, but actually notable. And then the whole car drifted to the left, and I first thought maybe that was the lane keeping assist basically malfunctioning or doing something which I don't want. But then I realized, as soon as I hit the brakes, the lane keeping assist is deactivated. So why should that be the case? And then I tried it again, and the same thing happened, and that actually felt a little bit dangerous even when you are in a situation where you need to brake, notably, and then the car is pulling you a little bit to the left, and you have to counter steer. In the first second, I was really very surprised, and I haven't noticed that before in an Audi vehicle. So if you're an Audi A4 owner, then tell me, have you experienced anything like this so far? Exterior, the A4 is basically conservative and rather elegant. However, this all-road package really adds some spice to the whole thing, and I think it does really very well fit the vehicle. And well, there's about 2,500 euros extra price for the whole package then. So it starts at about 42,000 euros then in Germany, or with a bigger engine than the very base model version. But then again, the A4 in general, list price wise, is a rather expensive mid-size vehicle. Then again, sometimes in Germany you get good lease offers again and again, because it's one of the main fleet vehicles. Again, might be different in some other markets, you have to check that for yourself. Interior wise, very good build quality as we know it. Hardly anything to criticize there, very elegant layout, good software for the infotainment system. Of course, I personally would like to see more different seat services at Audi as well. The offering of space in the rear area is better than in the previous generation A4, but still could be a little bit better. However, the trunk is very well usable, but the seats should flip automatically, that's for sure. The changes in the interior for the all-road package are rather minor. Then, well, the engine lineup is a little bit limited because you only have the all-wheel drive engines there, which is pretty much okay for the vehicle concept. The 3-liter diesel, a very good engine for sure when you want that pure power and you're a diesel fan as well. Consumption could be a little bit lower for sure. And there was this incident without when you're braking on very wet road surface, would like to investigate that further as well. Other than that, even a little bit more off-road capable, good for, you know, some B or even C roads for sure. So I think the whole vehicle concept works and already has a strong brand name, be it here in the mid-size or maybe in the upper segments, where also other manufacturers are keeping up with the idea to give something in between SUV and normal sedan with this crossover style. What do you think? Tell me your comments.